Hey, SaaS founders and marketeers. So first of all, welcome to the first episode of the SaaS Growth School. I'm your host, Ugi, and over the last couple of years, I helped over 20 SaaS companies add millions of dollars in annual recurring revenue through different content strategies, content marketing strategies, and the other types of growth strategies as well. And in this first post, as an introduction, in this first episode, as an introduction, what I want to tell you is a process that I would take right now in order to grow a brand new SaaS product to over $10,000 in monthly recurring revenue in 2 or 3 months. So here are the exact steps that I would take in order to achieve that milestone in the first 3 steps. So the first off, what would I do is I would try to identify a burning problem inside a very, very specific niche, right? So first of all, I would like to choose a niche where I'm already familiar with, and preferably that niche should be, let's say, we like to call them like a prosumers. So the people who need solution that will help them grow more, grow their businesses, get more sales, or reduce time that they waste on finishing up on working on some things, right? So first, for the highest growth, we want them to be these kind of customers, right? For example, we had one example of a company called Expandy, and they managed to grow from $0 to $5 million in annual recurring revenue in 15 months. And what are they doing? They have a LinkedIn sales automation tool, right? So ideally, you want to target these type of people. Now, when it comes to choosing a niche, that should be a niche where you're already familiar with. For example, that can be e-commerce owners, that can be SaaS owners, that can be, I don't know, like fashion, retail businesses, whatever, whenever you have experience. And the third thing is narrowing down on that niche. So if you have some kind of a SaaS product for e-commerce owners, right? Ideally, you do not want to target all e-commerce owners in the world. You want to focus on one specific segment on the market, because you as a newcomer to the industry cannot fight with the other category leaders, right? But you, on the other hand, can manage to win in a very specific niche of that existing market. So what that means is, instead of, for example, building something for e-commerce owners, you can build something for fashion and apparel e-commerce owners doing less than $1 million in sales per year. Hope you get my point. And the last thing when it comes to choosing a niche is, please try to really understand the biggest problems that your ideal customers is facing and the things that keep them up at night. Let's say, the best way to do that is, of course, to get out and invite 30, 50 plus people and interview them. You can, for example, as an incentive, give them some Amazon gift cards. I mean, nothing fancy, of course, but you just want to speak with as many people as possible so you can really understand their current workflows, the things they're doing right now, the things that don't work for them, and so you can, at the end of the day, really understand that problem that they are facing with, right? And for example, some of the questions that you want to ask them on those interviews are, for example, currently, what do your day-to-day activities look like? Then what are the biggest problems that you're experiencing right now? How are you currently solving these problems? What do you think an ideal solution could look like? How much are you willing to pay for that solution? What are the things that keep you up at night? And for example, one question that I particularly like is, if you can have a magic wand, how would you like your life and business to look like in the next 6 to 12 months? Right? And then once you collect interviews from 30, 40, 50 plus people, then you want to analyze these interviews and find the patterns, right? So now, once you completed this step, you have a problem that requires a solution. So the second step towards growing your brand new SaaS to 10K a month in the next 3 months is actually building an MVP that solves that core problem. So nothing fancy. Of course, you don't need to have a dark mode inside your MVP. The most important part here is to build something, as you probably know, the minimum viable product that will solve that problem. And that doesn't need to be a product at all. Sometimes that can be some informational products, or you can create some UI and have you work and execute tasks in the background, right? So depending on your solution, your solution depends on the problem itself. And essentially, just keep in mind to make it as simple as possible. And one of the ways to build those like MVPs is first off, check out the current solutions on the market, see what's bad about them, see what can be better, craft generally so like the simplest solution as you can. So right now we can leverage so many, for example, no-code tools, drag and drop tools like Webflow, VAs, and we have so many resources on our disposal that we can really, in a matter of 1, 2, 3 weeks, create something that works without spending weeks and weeks of our resources and time on trial and error, research and development, etc., etc. So you want to have something that solves a very specific problem for a very specific group of people. And remember, it doesn't need to be perfect, it doesn't need to look perfect, it just needs to solve that one particular problem, right? And the third step towards growing to 10K is building a landing page, your offer, and you need to look out for beta users, right? So when it comes to the landing page, do not overcomplicate things. So build a simple landing page, and the best framework for building that simple landing page is actually following a hook, story, and offer framework. So you need to have a hook, like for example, grow your fashion e-commerce brand to our 50K in monthly sales in 3 months. So you need to hook people to read that page, to read further. Then you have a story. So ideally, as I said in the beginning, you want to step into some niche where you already have some experience. So tell your story there, and that story should connect with these people, right? So that story should connect with your ICP. And the last thing is we have an offer or the CTA, and offer needs to be something really mind-blowing. So really something that will make them say, okay, wow, this sounds great, let me buy it out straight away, right? So for example, an offer can be we are launching a public beta access in like 3 months, but right now we are accepting the first 100 users inside the product, and instead of paying like $2,000 per year, you can get now the beta access and pay it for $150 a year or something like that, right? And as I said, when it comes to the beta users, the best validation of your overall idea and the product are the paying customers. So don't pay attention to people saying, wow, that's a great product, I like it, I love it. Validation for you that it makes sense to work on it in the future is when they take out their credit card and wire you the money. So keep that in mind. And how do you get those beta users? So first off, reach out to all those people that you interviewed at the beginning, then go out to the communities where those ICPs are congregating, so the Facebook communities, Slack groups, Reddit forum, subreddits, Quora, whatever it is, and write your hook story offer there, and you'll be able to get 100, 150, 250 plus beta users there. And this is the time right now where we go and we test the product with our beta users. So you want to get as much feedback as possible so you can improve your product, right, as soon as you can. And then once you have something that makes sense, then we go out and launch the product hunt, launch it on all these communities where our ICPs are conglomerating, and pretty soon we should have at least a couple of $1,000s in the monthly recurring revenue. And from now, the first things where you should focus on are first of all, improving that product, right? So this is a minimal viable solution. It won't work for a lifetime, so you need something better. So you right now should have some cash to do this. So go out, hire people while you're focusing on the growth from the very day, unless you're a developer, of course. In that case, you would you want to focus on the development of the product as well. But go out and try to target people who are in need of your product right now and who are looking for a solution like this right now. And I'm going to talk about it in the episodes to come. But in general, let me quickly recap it. This is the process, and these are the steps that I would take right now if I'm launching a brand new SaaS company tomorrow. So first of all, find a really burning problem inside a very specific niche for a very specific group of people. Gather as much insights as possible from these people, build a minimal viable product, and launch a beta access to those people that you interviewed and inside the other communities as well. Pretty simple, pretty straightforward. You should be having around 8 to 12, 13K in monthly recurring revenue in 2, 3, or even 4 months. And I've seen this process work many times. I helped many founders with this process, and it just works if you do it correctly. So thank you very much for listening to this first episode, and make sure to get back here in 2 or 3 days to read the further actionable insights on how to grow your SaaS company. Take care.